Hey, you there. Thank you for watching, and welcome to Forge Lines Forever. Today I have a 5v5 custom match here on the most amazing Neuroxis map generator. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players, starting off with Team 1 on the northern side of the map, and ending with Team 2 on the southern side of the map. Taking a look at Team 1, let's go Western player. We have in Rust, it is Nimbus 200. He is a UEF. He is a 1500. To his south, we have, to his north, we have in Amethyst Purple, it is Karateka. I think it's how you say his name. He is a Seraphim for the match as a 1700, the highest rated player on Team 1. To his southeast, we have in Snow White, blending in quite nicely. It is iBlock Bass playing as a UEF as a 1500. To his east, we have in Snow White, in Regal Purple, it is Turbo Puck playing as a UEF. He is a 1500. I promise I know my directions and colors. I saw the circle around his place and I was confused. Anyway, last one for Team 1, we have Master of Seasons playing as a UEF in Royal Blue as a 1600. So over Team 1 side of the map, they have 4 UEF, 0 Cybrins, 0 Aeons, and 1 Seraphim. Taking a look at Team 2's, let's go eastern side this time. We have in Glow in the Dark Green, it is Zymera playing as a UEF. He is a 1200. To his south, in Light Oak 10, it is Microplastics. Definitely don't want to be eating those. He is an Aeon, I believe the one and only of the game. He is an 1800. He's actually tied for the highest rated player on his team and in the game. Overall, to his west in Chevy Crimson, it is the Seraphim of Lake Tak. He is a 1400 again in Chevy Crimson. To his west in Emerald Green, it is Regal Eagle playing as a Cybrin for this match as a 1400. And rounding out Team 2, his next door neighbor, it is another Cybrin. It is Storm and Lantern. He is an 1800. He's tied with Microplastic for highest rated player on his team and in the game. Overall, again, he is in orange, the color orange. So over Team 2 side of the map, they have 1 UEF. They have 2 Cybrins, 1 Aeon, and 1 Seraphim. So all the factions represented on Team 2 side of the map. A little bit more balance with faction distributions on Team 2. Team 1, again, has 4 UEF and 1 Seraphim. That is it. So they're missing out on 2 of the 4 factions, but a lot of UEF tech. So we'll see how that ends up working for them. We'll take a look at the reclaim before they scoop it all up. Currently sitting at 46,000 mass, which makes it 4.6k mass per player. And there is a lot of tiny little reclaim clumpage, and there's a decent amount of big reclaim clumpage. We have 1,000 over here, and then another 8 or so hundred right here. We have another 600 there, 1,000 there, and then a couple of 400s in the middle. Most of it is pretty much just in this block right about here. Some reclaim is safe. You see up in the north at least, there's a nice little 900 here and a 500. So there is reclaim for everybody to grab, but again, a large focus of it is going to be in the middle. And in terms of mechs distributions, besides the main core mechs for our players, we do see some expansions into the middle of the map. We have a Trimex position on the western side for Team 2. A decent, splattering of mechs here, and again on this eastern side with, it's not really a Trimex, but in lieu of anything else nearby, it's pretty much a glorified Trimex, and then there's also a Quad Mech southwest of that. That's pretty much the bulk of the mexes. Some mexes in the background, of course, as is usually just the Neuroxis map generator's customary. Some mexes are safe for the most part, but that's pretty much about it. The map's going to rely a little bit more, the player's going to rely a little bit more on the reclaim earlier on, and depending on what they fund will depend on how their eco situates mid to late game. I will want to take just a moment to talk about the winner of the poll on the channel. I did pull these results from Wednesday late afternoon-ish. So again, for those of you who sent their votes in on Thursday, I do apologize. I think I did make aware of that. But anyway, we have in 4th place, which, to nobody's surprise, it is I Have No Opinion with 2%. For a while, it was at 0. I think once we hit 100 votes, somebody voted for it. So 2% there. Third place was Harem of Harbingers at 30%. And then just barely above that at 31% is Horde of Harbingers, which means the winner is Host of Harbingers at 37%. It was a very, very tight race with Harem, Host, and Horde. So thank you so much for all those who participated. I'll probably put up the next one for the Autumns probably in about a day or so of this video going live. So again, thank you so much for all of the participation. Let's go ahead and get on with the action with the first com action in the game on the eastern side. Master of Seasons of Team 1 and Zymera of Team 2. Master of Seasons a little bit surrounded. It should, emphasis on should be fine. If he keeps going south, that's not going to help. But Zymera and Master of Seasons just blasting one another, ignoring the units here, which will give Zymera a little bit of an advantage. We can see he's kind of pushing in a little bit more further north. Turbopuck is inbound. He's going to get there here shortly. And I did notice that there was a gun upgrade started for Master of Seasons, which was, of course, denied, given the fact that Team 2 Zymera came up and said hi. Master of Seasons is now going to get some reinforcements from Turbopuck and a couple of his forces, so they're going to be able to force back Zymera again. He's already in the yellow. They're still trading shots. Both these comms need to be careful. It could be a murder-suicide situation waiting to happen, but Turbopuck, if he does get into range, will be able to take out Zymera's comm, so it's just an immediate backpedal just to get out of range. Gun start on the western side for a Nimbus 200. He's already closing in on 85%, so he's going to be able to finish that here real quick. And then in the middle, we have gun started for attack as well. Looks like Team 1 has called off their chasing down of Zymera. Oh, look, nice little radar system there for those civilians. I will note there are civilian structures, and they're not manned in the sense that they're not active. They have to be claimed. So nice little T1 Eruptor here from assuming Turbopuck to grab. And, of course, nice little radar system. Nice to have that in the middle of the map. Didn't make a note of those earlier. I do apologize. They are noted now. On the western side, lots of forces stacking up for both of the orange or orange-ish players. Being Rust is kind of like a darker orange. And then, of course, orange color orange being, well, orange. And then on the eastern side, we have Zymera going for his gun. Needs to be careful how far he sits forward. He is near some PD. I would like that PD to just be either here or for his comm to move just here, just to be a little bit behind it, just in case some Lobos come say hi. They'll most likely shoot at the PD first and not the comm, but those are just my 2 cents there. And then in the middle, we see that gun almost done for the attack, and then gun speed and range started for Regal Eagle. I said Legal Eagle, didn't I, in the beginning of the game? I did say that. I apologize. That is Regal Eagle, not Legal Eagle. And if I didn't say that, then I corrected myself. Anyways, it is Regal Eagle. Apologies. I did correct myself at some point. And nothing else from Team 1 except for a T2 upgrade started for Master of Seasons. He's going to get some hit points back, 2,000 additional ones, in fact. And he'll probably build some PD emplacements to just protect this avenue. In terms of the map, there's going to be probably the 2 main engagement points on the eastern and western side. There is some avenue of attack with this little this little diamond here in the middle of the map. And we'll see if there's a lot of action. We do see Team 2's attack kind of splitting himself. We see his comm and a couple of forces over here on the eastern side. And then we see him sending the bulk of the forces west just to prevent any sort of incursions. I-block mass is inbound. He will see this, talking about the attack. But we'll see if he ends up shifting west or not. In terms of the main bases, the players have not left. Team 2's player of Microplastic has not left, going for T3 Air. As we speak, Team 1, we see the same thing over here for Karateka, who's about the same percentage as his opponent. T2 Air going for T3, also for Turbopuck. I didn't even notice over here. T2 Air going for T3. So there are 2 air players in this 5-player game, which is kind of rare in 5v5 games. Map always is the defining, is it worth it to go for air? Is it worth it to go for Navy? Is it worth it to go for land situation? But again, it looks like it's worth it to go for air for both teams. Gun started also for Storm Lantern. So everybody on Team 2 is going to have a gun. And we do see I-Block Max going for his gun. Left drone started for Turbopuck. Master of Seasons went for gun and T2. And Zymera went for gun and nano. So more regen versus more hit points. We'll see if it ends up playing better for Team 1 or Team 2. A couple of bombers will help alleviate Zymera with that extra hull plating. He does have a couple of killers nearby from Team 1's Master of Seasons to deal with. So he's going to have to watch out for that. Bomber's inbound once again for his second pass. Looks like he got some veterancy, so 10% additional hit points. Master of Seasons coming in with a nice little parachute to protect himself, gives him an additional 3,000 hit points of temporary protection. Zymera is falling into the yellow and the red and the yellow and the red. And another bomber inbound, going to drop more pain. Attack moving in from the west. And now Master of Seasons has a choice. Does he fall back and continue to push? He is going to fall back. And it looks like maybe Zymera will move back. AA emplacements are not underway. We do see a nice little thistle nearby. Bomber's doing a lot of work here. 200 mass, 1-star vet for him. And Master of Seasons is able to fall back. He gets almost close to 1 vet. Zymera still somehow not able to deal with that. Looks like that bomber's finally dealt with. Been on live a lot longer than you would think it is. A gun started for Turbo Puck nearby. Western side, we have an engagement between the orange players of Nimbus with a gun and a nice little T2 Triad online. Versus Storm Lantern with a gun online as well, working on its first star. Nimbus not even barely started. And now the forces for Team 2 Storm have not necessarily surrounded Nimbus. You did see just a slight opportunity to move the forces around and try to encase the comm and just constantly boop them and cause them to not move, but looks like Storm Lantern's not really keen on just completely wiping out the comm right now. Again, he is in the yellow. He needs to be careful. No is Nimbus, but again, needs to be careful with that. I'm going to split things just in case things get crazy and I miss something, which of course does happen usually every game. Not every game, but usually. We do see forces of iBlock Mass in the comm of him moving in to intercept Latak's forces. Master of Seasons now joined by Turbopuck, who has drone and gun online. Master of Seasons going back for T2, so he's being now the support role in this, while Turbopuck is being more of the primary focus in terms of the aggression. Attack looks like he's falling back to move. I don't know where he's going. And then Stealth started for Storm Lantern, and then Nimbus maybe going to go for gun. Oh, sorry, maybe go for Nano or T2 maybe? But looks like my splitting of the screen wasn't really needed because not really a lot of stuff happened in the like 30 seconds to a minute that it was actually online. And Team 1's iBlock Mass not looking too good, dropping into the yellow. Does have 1-star vet, so that's something. Or a pillar or two to help kind of distract the forces from Team 2. But again, not looking great. We have another clash of forces from Team 1 and Team 2. Regal Eagle inbound with a gun and stealth comm online. Nano repair started for Storm as well. On the western side, T3 Air, T3 Air, Team 1, T3 Air, and T3 Air. So everybody in the game that has gone for air now has T3 at 12 minutes. Looks like the game kind of dying down a smidgen. And of course I say that and someone's going to die. I'm going to miss it. I'm going to be upset with myself. Nano progressing on the western side for Team 2. We have TAC missile started for Master of Seasons. He's taking some shots. Looks like some... I don't know what he's being shot at by. It looks like missiles, but T2... Oh, T2 PD's not helping. That's not going to be great. Turbopuck's not taking some damage. We have Zymera back up into the green. Another vet on board. And again, that Nano really helping to regen those hit points. He needs to be careful. We have the comm of Master of Seasons taking the bulk of the damage from those T2 Oblivion PD emplacements. And Master of Seasons done with his missile. He's going to load it now. And Zymera going to get some nice veterancy from all these T2 pillars. And Turbopuck and Master of Seasons in the yellow. Master of Seasons not great. Zymera in the yellow as well, but he's getting nice veterancy, almost up to 3. And we have Turbopuck catching up to him at a little over 2. Master of Seasons at a little bit over 1. Western side, we have Regal Eagle surrounded by a couple of forces from Team 2, so he's not being shot at by them, but does have to deal with a couple of Mongeese from Team 1. Looks like Storm's charging ahead with his gun, Nano, and Stealth Comm. Does have to be careful. He's not necessarily on his lonesome. He's leading the charge, but needs to essentially switch out himself for his forces so they take the bulk of the damage, and he does not. Nano repair started for Turbopuck to get the regen back up and running to face off against Zymera and Latak's over here. So it's 2v2 in the east, it's 1v1 in the west, and then Midwest it's a 1v1. So we'll see how that ends up going. Not really a lot of engagements between the two players anyways in terms of Regal Eagle and iBlock Mass. It's really just been Latak's forces and iBlock Mass facing off against one another. So again, the more fire-based wars have started to appear, at least on the eastern side. Western side, that was starting to happen for Team 1. And Storm Lantern said absolutely not. And said, I'm just going to send my comm and come say hi. Wiping out PD, wiping out everything else. There's a couple of Mongeese shooting at him. We have Nimbus inbound, gun on board. Storm at gun and Nano. So even though he's lesser on the hit points, in terms of, actually no, he's better than Team 2 in terms more than Nimbus, because he's at 16 and Nimbus is at 13,000. Stormlight can get a nice little overcharge there, killing up another Mongoose. He's almost up to 3-star bed. Eastern side, we have with the gun, Nano, and drone comm, Turbopuck still charging ahead. Tac missile looks like it's inbound, immediately going after a couple of mexes in the back line for Zymera. Definitely going to be annoyed about that. Is building PD now. Looks like the missile was shot down. It looks like maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 missiles went through, so that's pretty good. But that missile is now not necessarily that viable in that direction. Midwest side, we have this engagement between iBlock Mass and Regal Eagle. Do want to note that Storm is being shot at by Nimbus's T2 PD and still engaging the comm. And we have Regal Eagle dealing with the rest of the forces from iBlock Mass. He's up to 2-star vet, and iBlock Mass also at 2-star vet, almost working on his, or is close to working on his 3rd. Regal Eagle, he's fine for now. He's still in the green, and iBlock Mass has barely dropped into the yellow. Storm still charging, and he's being very aggressive with that commander. Needs to be careful he doesn't get overwhelmed. Overcharge hits him, it looks like. And T2PD focusing somewhat on the unit, somewhat on the comm. It's kind of a mixed bag in that regard. We have, is that T3 artillery shooting at that emplacement? That's what that, oh, no, maybe it's these. Oh, it's these shooting at him from the south. Nano repair started for Regal Eagle a little bit far forward. He does cancel it and goes, that's probably a good idea. It falls back. Missile inbound, gonna hit L'attack. Ooh, that's gotta hurt. Cancels that upgrade immediately and moves, because the second missile is going to be inbound. There it goes. Now the thing is, did Master of Seasons line up the shot to be able to lead the comm? Missile inbound kills off one of the radars. Doesn't kill off both of them, but hey, one is better than none. Looks like Turbopuck has left to fall back to a little bit more safer position. In terms of still, we have no movement outbound from Microplastics. Still in this mix of T1 P-Gens. Helping to assist the construction of more ASFs. We haven't seen the ASF action quite really fly off the handles yet between the teams that I have noticed. That doesn't mean that it hasn't happened and I just didn't notice. But there is a Strat Bomber. That's not helpful for iBlock Mass. He'll take 3,000 damage for that. Bomber is able to go home. Team 2 looks like they have the ASF advantage. And I wouldn't be surprised if that Bomber, yep, there it goes. Goes in for another pass. It's going to drop the comm below. Oh, doesn't drop a payload. Goes for the forces. Oh, and there he goes. Bomber's knocked out. And ASF's engaged, but they weren't ready for it. I think they got one of the ASFs. A couple of them, actually, but wasn't a full, clean sweep. And Team 1 will get a little bit of reclaim from that nice little wreck from that Bomber. Definitely, iBlock Mass will be happy for the Mass. We have Storm going for a reclaim now, just trying to get a little bit of some juice into his veins with all of that juicy reclaim in front of his face. He's almost up to 4 stars. He's doing very well in terms of getting more hit points. And then Zymera's almost up to 3, and then L'Attack's was on his first. And we have Master of Seasons slowly falling back. It looks like he's going to move back to this position, this central position here. Maybe he just doesn't want to keep it anymore. Maybe it's just not worth it. We'll see. Or maybe he wants to go for an upgrade and wants to make sure that he's protected in case of something that happens or may not happen. T2 started for L'Attack's comm over in the east. He's going to get 2,000 hit points for that. Nano repair now restarted for Regal Eagle. That will finish there shortly. That'll get him back into the green very quickly. And Storm, again, he's thinking about it. He's thinking about doing it. And he's like, no. There's a lot of PD here. T3 land headquarters is being built here for Nimbus, which means there's going to be some Titans, and then, of course, Percy's online. We have a nice little Loyalist just running on that western side, hanging out. T3 mechs over here. That's definitely a little bit more far forward. One looks like it's been spotted again by Team 1. And it looks like that that mass storage actually will survive. And mechs will also survive. I will note this is not a full 20 by 20 map as indicated by the big giant void ocean around it. It's probably about a 17 by 17. But it's still a decent sized map, but there is a decent amount of the map kind of denied by all of the mountains in the east and the west, and then of course the core mountains in the middle with a couple of offshoots from those. So there's a little bit of the map that's just unplayable, unplayable on land, I should say. ASFs can still fly over it, and nukes can still fly over it and whatnot. We have missiles inbound again. We've had TMD this way, so he can't launch missiles that way anymore. He has to go this way. Looks like he might grab, I don't know what he's going to grab at this point. There's a TMD there. He might be able to grab this one, or yeah, that's going to be about it. I don't even know where that missile went. It just kind of disappeared into the void that is the Snow White map. One of the only issues I don't like with the Snow White map is just it's kind of harder to see things. It's just the way it is, I guess. High block mass moving in with a decent amount of forces behind him. But we have Storm moving in with a nice little brick, couple of Loyalists, and Regal Eagles comm, Gun, and Nano on board. Maybe he'll make it past 20 minutes. Everybody is still alive for now. And we'll see if that will stay the course. We have some ASFs inbound from both teams, just kind of shadowing the players on the ground. We have I-Block Mass still here, dropping below 11,000. And closing in on that 20-minute mark. Eastern side shield started for Zymera. And then on the western side, no upgrades have been noted as of right now. We do have Regal Eagle. Looks like he's going this way for whatever reason. And Storm 19 going after a mechs. I-Block Mass is actually getting blocked mass by the comm of Storm. And we have 3 different players here. We have Regal Eagle with his comm, Storm 19 with his forces and his comm. And then we have Latak's Ilshis that are just going to full send it looks like. And I-Block Mass needs to get his forces in front to protect the evacuation of his commander because those units are inbound. 20 minutes. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody made it past 20 minutes. I just want to make sure nothing too crazy is happening. Not that I can know of. We still have these 3 comms. Ilshi's focusing on the comm. Hit points are dropping, but the comm did get some veterancy. Look at those hit points just get shredded on that comm. 7,000. Oh, it gets out of range of a lot of the Ilshis. The Ilshis need to keep moving. Engineer's like, good thing I'm not down there. Get me out of here. 5,000 hit points and falling. 47. He's in the red. Has a couple of Percys nearby. We have Regal Eagle moving in. We have a couple of Percys now. They're being focused down quite heavily. Overcharge hits the comm. Drops him almost below 3,000 hit points. This front line is down at a bare minimum. And Storm still has his forces to bring to bear. And he might get up to 5-star vet with all these Ilshis still in range. But he does have some Ilshis inbound. Latak does over there on the east. So that's not looking good. They might just sandwich the comm. He needs to keep going that way. Or yeah, I mean, that way would kind of work. But mainly just that way and that way. It looks like the Ilshis are starting to be called off for the most part, at least the bulk of them. Transport still ferrying engineers over there. No idea what that's about, but looks like it's just engineering support maybe. Eastern side looks like it's going to get bogged down by Team 1 and Team 2's forces in this nice little kind of choke point there. And I will note this is actually the upper section. That is the lower section of the map, just to make that out. Looks like it's the other way around, but it is not. And Regal Eagle is able to... it's to sit where Team 1's My Block Mass was. Be like, this is mine now. Go away. Team 2, in terms of land acquisition, a little bit in their favor in terms of map control. Eastern side, Team 2, Zymera gets killed off by Percy's. Ooh, that's got to hurt. So, yes, I did miss something. Apologies. Team 1's at 5 players left. Team 2's at 4, losing Zymera. But everybody did make it past 20 minutes, so... There's that. I got distracted by that nice little monkey lord over there. So there's that. But it just looked like he was going to get out of there because the forces were kind of just bogged down here. I went over here and went, oh, and then boom. So we'll see how that shakes up the game. That does give another base, the Team 2's Eastern player, of microplastics. And he's getting microplastic, not plural, singular. Now he has land and air to play with. He's probably going to go for, T3 land headquarters, and I'm assuming Latak's now going to be the de facto Eastern player for Team 2 for the time being. So a little bit less APM for Team 2, but it does give more mass to somebody else, and that player is tied for the highest rated player in the game, so we'll see what he ends up doing with the extra base and eco. We have I-Block Mass now at 5-star vet, and Team 2's forces have kind of thinned out, especially with the emergence of the more, in my opinion, better Percys in terms of dealing with large groups of T3 or T4 units. Or comms, or whatever they're shooting at. Besides T2 and T1, they're not as effective because you could go for Titans and Loyalists and everything else like that shoots faster. So Percys do have a weakness, as everything else does in this game. But they are a very good unit. I'm a little biased because I like playing UEF, so just take that with a little bit of salt. Little smidgen, Just be aware, don't add too much salt because then it just doesn't taste good. We do see the forces in the column of Latak is falling back. They need to regroup on this position. Those Perseus are inbound, and at this point, you've already sent the forces all the way there. You might as well just send it and be done with it. We have more forces inbound constantly as well from Master of Seasons. So if he wants it, he can go for it. Team 2, the longer Team 1 waits, the better it is. Ravagers are being built. Don't know if that's the best course of action. Probably would be better off to just get Perseus. They're going to lose a portion of this base regardless, and there's some Cougars in the area, so the ASF aren't really going to be that useful. But the Restorers, that might help out a little bit. More shots that are raining into the units are going to be better off than raining into the infrastructure. The Team 1 P-Gens aren't a big concern. It's mainly the Team 3 land headquarters, the P-Gen, the T21, and then, of course, every single mix. And the Easters. Don't forget about those. We have Autumns moving in from the west. We have Restorers coming in. Of course, target the stuff that shoots at you and then target everything else that's shooting at something else. We do see all the Cougars are dealt with. We do see that Ravager was built. So look at that. Percy standing there. We have another one coming off the assembly line. Team 2 did cobble together a force quite nicely. It looks like Microplastics didn't have some sort of plan, and it looks like that's going to be pretty much the end. The T3 land headquarters, again, would be a nice target, but it doesn't look like Team 1's going to get it. They're focusing on other things, and it's just not going to happen. We do have that air fight. Nope, that's Team 2. Never mind. And in the middle of the map here, we see iBlock Mass still in the fray, being shot at by bricks. He has some Perseus coming in and being like, nope. And that Monkey Lord went, nope, got denied by Team 1. So nice grab there, a little bit of reclaim for them to scoop up for their troubles. Western side, the fire base still looking good and expanding quite nicely. We do see T2 artillery still raining in on that position. It's been there for a while, and it looks like a Percy has been like, okay, I'm kind of done with it. Doesn't actually grab the Gunther, so that's a little bit unfortunate for him, but he did make an attempt. Nonetheless, Crab started it for Team 2's Storm as well. Air grid decentralization going on. Now we have more of that going on and more of it. Love to see that and more of it. Jeez, there's a lot of those things spreading around the map. Again, it deters just a huge cascade, and it makes the target more spread out. So instead of going for, let's say, one nuke to wipe out the entire air grid, it's maybe you can grab maybe these two right here, but Team 2 still has these three right here. It just makes it a more annoying target to go after than just, here's a big giant just X, just shoot at that thing, or square in this case. Eastern side, we do see Master of Seasons still, holding the front line, still doing his thing. He did fall back a little bit. Didn't go for T3 like maybe I thought I would, but, maybe, again, 4 players on Team 1, no Billy Nuke yet. That's sad, but, that's just how it goes sometimes. Team 1 at 5 players left, and Team 4 only losing Zymera after 20 minutes, though. So there is that eco situation, pretty much the same. I think a little bit favored for Team 2, just a smidgen. And both teams staying relatively the same amount of total mass accrued. Again, very small margins between these two teams. In terms of reclaim, it does favor Team 2, which is one of the reasons why they're just right behind Team 1. But, at this point, it's pretty much even Stevens, besides the little bit of land acquisition for Team 2 in the middle, and then a little bit of land acquisition for Team 1 on the eastern side, and of course the dead player for Team 2 being Zymera. So hopefully you enjoyed. If you haven't done so already, because why not at this point, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I really, really, really do appreciate it. I appreciate it. The channel appreciates it. So thank you so much. And on to the action with a Percy missing a shot on a nice little Team 1 Archer just walking on by. Does actually get him that second time, though, so there we go. Another Percy inbound, and I'm assuming it's going to be just more and more and more. This is where, again, a Titan would come in very handy. Even though these are Team 1s and they're AA, a Titan would rip these things apart very quickly. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. Does have some pillars and a couple of Lobos. Actually, those are Furfurs, not Lobos. Those are Furfurs, not Lobos. Middle of the map, we have a couple of Team 1 Mech Marine spam inbound from, who's that? That is Turbo Puck, and we have forces actually inbound from the east moving in to crush any sort of opposition that way. We did see, again, Attack use this a little bit to his benefit, but it looks like Team 1's kind of fed up with it and dealing with that attack vector. The Team 1 land spam is coming online for Turbo Puck, and he is not going to stop, and it's being heralded by iBlock Mass's continual push against Team 2. We do see a couple of T2 artillery. Nice little Omni. I don't think that's going to last much longer, especially with iBlock Mass inbound. Chicken online for Team 1's Amethyst Purple player of Karateka. And the only different player in terms of faction on Team 1, given he's the Soul Seraphim, on Team 1. We do see that chicken will engage the crab, but the crab will do significant damage to the chicken before it even reaches. We'll see if that is worth it or not for Team 1. Air fight happens. Looks like they went after the gunships. Again, the gunships, the restorers have the best AA in the game for I was going to say for restorers, but for gunships. So not the best idea. And I think Team 1 now just doesn't have any ASFs. Fat Boy online in the east, though. That's going to help out. We have bricks acting as a nice little brick wall for that crab, who took not a lot of damage. That's going to be a win for Team 2. The artillery placements are down, unfortunately, for Team 2 over here. But hey, let's take a win in the chicken game any day of the week for a little bit of T2 artillery loss. Fat Boy started from microplastics, giving him a little bit of breathing room on that eastern side. And then we have Advanced Nano started for the attack over here in the east. If he goes for a nuke, I would not be surprised. Western side, another crab started. Laser started for Team 2. Is Regal Eagle. I think he just wants to make sure he has it while he has the power, because sometimes when you try to build those upgrades at the very end of the game where you have nothing, it's kind of, next to impossible to build them, so you might as well spend it while you have it, and then have it, not need it, and then need it and not have it. Sort of situation. Nice little group of restorers hanging out. Some of them on fire, so probably should send them to a nice little air staging facility to refuel, rearm, and heal up. A couple of Percy's still being shot at by that Fat Boy from Team 1. And another experimental done for Team 1. It's now a nice little Fat Boy. It looks like the crab not going this way, going this way. There is a scenario where you could send it actually this way, and the ground is not super low where you can't shoot up, so it could be easily taken out that direction. But of course the Fat Boy can shoot over stuff, or some stuff at least, and now that force from Team 2 is being shot at by that nice little Nimbus 200 Fat Boy. Missile inbound from Team 2, and it's denied anyways. Don't know if it had to have been attack missile. There's no way that it was a... No, it could have been a redirect. Yeah, it could have been a redirect from the Loyalist, now that I think about it. But never mind. The tanker was from Team 1, but the T2 artillery is down. And there goes the Fat Boy's annoyance from that T2 artillery battery. I was thinking bucket, but I'm like, that's not the word for it. Western side, still more crabs, and then a Monkey Lord after that. Crab is done for Team 2. Looks like it's transferred over immediately over to Storm. And then we have more Mad Fab. Looks like he has a little bit of a decent air field to scoop up. Look at all that reclaim. He's going to fuel it into a chicken. Definitely a smart move there. And then Fat Boy is almost done for Team 2. Just in time for that Fat Boy for Team 1 to show up. So it'll be a nice little even game between them. Is there much AA? There's a couple of Cougars. A couple of Parashields, a couple of Skyboxers, so there is some flak and whatnot nearby. Fat Boy probably should produce the the Parashields and the flak on board, just to help protect himself just a little bit longer. Team 1, how is your egg growing? Nice. It's not super spread out like Team 2's, but hey, it's there. And on the western side, same situation. Oh, there's a nuke. There it is. Well, first nuke of the game has made its appearance. 30 minutes on the clock. And not even 30 minutes on the clock. It's built. It's almost loaded. And it's going... Ooh, that's not going to be good for Team 2. That eastern side is going to get pummeled to shreds. And that might... not necessarily will be a winning move outright, but it definitely is going to hurt. We have that Fat Boy take significant damage from Team 2. And it's... yeah, the Fat Boy took damage as well. There's the nuke. There it is. And if Microplastic, yep, immediately knows. He's like, yep, I got to get out of there. No SMD is going to be built in time for him. No SMD is going to be loaded in time for him. And looks like Team 1 E-Storage just looks like he needs some assistance with keeping power online. Bug online for Team 2 is definitely an interesting move there. We do see that Nimbus is now falling back, looks like, to his main base for a little bit more protection. Since there are 3 crabs inbound, and that's going to hurt very, very quickly and not going to feel good. We have that nuke. It is inbound. It is a Seraphim Nukes who's going to have that nice little flower that I like to see. The YOLO doesn't have the flower, which I think is kind of sad, but not everything has to have everything, of course. Here comes the nuke. Oh, it's going to be a glorious one, ladies and gentlemen. 31.5 minutes on the clock, and boom! One Pigeon survives. Couple of Mexes survive. That would have been the dead calm of Microplastics, so that's for sure. That is a win for Team 1. Killed off, let's say 70,000 mass this time. Oh, only 60. So if I had guessed 60 this time, I would have been right. But no, I had to go up a little bit. Anyway, We do see the attack on the western side, and Crab is taking a ton of damage. This one is perfectly fine. Ravager's doing a very good job of just removing hit points off of that Crab's whole plating. We have more shields being built all the time to protect the Ravagers and everything else, but the numbers, they're not going to lie, and that western side's not looking good. We have a bug over here hanging out, going after some Percy's, and then all of the spam in the world over there from Team 1. ASFs, again, they're trying to lure out the ASFs from Team 1 by using the bug as a nice little carrot, and like, hey, come get the carrot. ASFs take the bait, and Team 2 engages, and the bug will be destroyed. That was part of the purpose. ASFs from Team 1's Karateka do have a nice early engagement, though, or a nice first engagement. Now it's just going to be just circle the wagons and kill off as much stuff as you can. Looks like Team 2 still has the advantage, though. Western side's not looking good, and Storm did not send the actually, these are heavily damaged. He kept swapping out the megas, it looks like. So that's why I was like, wait, wasn't one of those heavily damaged? They both were. And it looks like Team 1's Fat Boy is down on that western side, and the Megalith is going to be fine for now. Emphasis on for now. Look at those mech marines. Look at them just skitter around the map. Get them. Get that crab. Get them. Is what they're probably. Look at how small they are compared to the crab. That's insane. The verticality of that thing. Oh, he's so small. Look at that. Skittering around the map. Anyway, before I miss somebody else's kill, Fat Boy inbound on the... Ooh, that's... I was going to say Fat Boy, but Billy Nuke inbound from Team 1. There it is, Master of Seasons. Again, a team with 4 UEF. Somebody's got to go for it at some point. Oh, there's just engineers just hanging out down there. That one's... How is that one not dead yet? Oh, there it goes. Sorry. Didn't mean to cast a curse you there. Surprised. Nuke is inbound a second one, and it's going for this position. SMD was built and loaded, and I would assume that one was actually loaded before the first one even landed, considering there's now 2 of them loaded, and that was 31.5 minutes. So Nuke will be denied. Could have gone after this base, but there is an SMD there. It was just built recently, so it could have gone for it. So 2 nukes in a very quick amount of time. Billy Nuke lands in front of the attack. He's underneath shielding. He has Gun, Splash, and Nano. So there is that to consider. Oh, and if you haven't watched Wednesday's video with Settons, oh my goodness, is it a good video? And oh my goodness, does stuff happen in a game and I go, what did I just watch? Like, what? Just... The synopsis might be somebody's going to get fired over this. Should have been maybe the thumbnail or the title of the video. So probably, I don't know, hindsight's 2020 and whatnot. We have Corsairs inbound for that. Fat Boy does have some flak nearby. More Corsairs inbound, going to take out its shield at a bare minimum. And then maybe a second pass will be enough. Corsair almost kill off the Fat Boy. Like I said, a ton of flak. Maybe a Corsair or 2 will be able to lob another shot. But, yeah, good luck with that. We have another Megalith appearing. This one's heavily damaged. These ones are severely damaged, essentially not even existent. And now a new Monkey Load online. Storm pumping out a ton of experimentals. Eastern side, 2 Fat Boys, of course. 1 chicken. Coming over the hill like, hey, I am even more taller than you. Ha, ha, ha. I have the high ground. Look at that. Look at that little formation move. Like, we're just going to line up and have this chicken shoot at us. That's a tall chicken. My wife always comments when she wears heels like, I feel tall. I'm like, yeah, because you're wearing like 2-inch heels. So you gained like 2 to 3 inches. Like, but I'm tall. I'm like, yes, you are tall. It's just funny to me. Oh, that chicken's not going to feel good here shortly. Ooh. And he knows if he goes in the range, he's going to die anyway. So it's... Oh, he moves too late. He gets a little bit of entrancy. Maybe that'll help. Oh, maybe if he moved in when I made that comment, maybe it would have been enough because that Iron Stump's going to be out of range and not really useful. That Fat Boy is dead for Team 1. This Fat Boy is still alive for Team 2, so that's something. Second Fat Boy soon to be started. Eastern side still looking healthy-ish for Team 2, but not super great. This is a concerning amount of stuff, though. So we'll see what Team 1 ends up pushing in with that. Fat Boy in the middle producing some Cougars on its back. Love to see that. Brick Wall inbound. We have Crab inbound, and there's been no Harbingers that I just noticed because the only Aeon player in the game is Microplastic, and he's not producing land units for his Aeon stuff, so there's no Harbingers. Sad. I can't say host. Sad. 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 We have Ravagers inbound from the base. No, a lot of them. No, another shield's going to be built, but again, being shot at by a oh, it's going to be close. Shots are trading. Shots are trading. Isn't enough still in the air? Oh, it's not, just barely. Isn't dead. 1,000 hit points. I think that veterancy actually helped save him. And Percy's come out to meet him. That's going to be enough. There is an SACU mixed in there. Not a lot of regen, but it does have 26,000 hit points in shielding. 42,000 in total. It's a lot of hit points. Shield started for eye block mask. Goes for the superior shield. Not the shield field, but there is a use for it, of course. That's why it exists in the game. Artillery started for him. Another nuke. Looks like it took some damage. Don't know what from, but it did take some damage nonetheless. Artillery piece is online right next to it, so that's nice little section of stuff from Team 1. Do see maybe start getting the air grid. It's probably just newly minted, I would assume. I mean, I don't see a lot of shots that have landed from Team 1's anyways. Team 2's not looking too hot over here. Billy Nuke inbound hits the units. Boom. Doesn't hit the T3 land headquarters. Does wipe out a ton of forces, though, nonetheless. And he's going for more SAMs. And he's getting, what, 80? He's done 85,000 mass killed with his comp. Does a very good job with that Billy Nuke. And we have UEF just expanding out. We have UEF over here as well. Oh, look at them. Look at this. Look at this. Look at all the extra assistance that's inbound. All the PGens assisting the mass, essentially the mass fabricator mobile. Well, they don't make a lot of mass, individually, but I mean, you could produce Rasboys out of that pretty easily. Monkey Lord over here. Not Monkey Lord. We have Fat Boy, and Fat Boy. We have a Monkey Lord here. Dead crab there. Another monkey, another crab, another crab. Corsairs inbound to the west. Shield is fine and is depleted. ACUs move in to wipe out those Corsairs, and even the remaining of them wiped them out. Anyways, maybe could have followed that up with some ASF from Team 2, but there's a little bit of AA starting to be built on the edges, so that's not really going to work. That's not going to feel good. I did see that Scathus there. Don't think I didn't see you there. But another nuke is inbound. It's going eastward. Okay, I feel like that's just rubbing salt on the wound at this point. There's a Fat Boy here. There's forces here. Yes, it would eliminate the base entirely, but at this point, it's pretty much on its last legs anyways, so I don't think it's worth the mass, it's worth the nuke. I feel like other things are either attempting to go for the nuke. You could even target this. You could target, you couldn't target there. You could go to target, that's fair, but artillery landing next to Regal Eagle, that's not going to feel good. But here comes the nuke. I mean, it does allow Team 2 to maybe get a little bit of reprieve because those forces from Team 1 fall back, but here comes the nuke. Kaboom! But yeah, it's not great. Couple of mechs to survive. Billy Nuke lands over here. So we have just constant Billy Nuking from Team 1. That's Scathus. It's in the yellow. It might be Team 2's only hope. Shielding not super strong. Second artillery piece coming online on the west. Third artillery piece, at least technically second, but technically third for iBlock Mass being built. He's building his own Billy Nuke. He saw the success of his teammate. Another Fat Boy coming online for Team 1 over there. And, of course, air grid, and that's been pretty much about it for Team 1's Turbo Puck. And I will note that Karateka is actually over here, not over here. And we even see an SMD was built over here by Turbo Puck. And it's kind of a swapping of the locations. Look, he's actually he's over here, and he's over here, even though they're in each other's base. Not confusing at all. And they're both air players, so also not confusing. It's making my time as a caster just more annoying. Not more annoying, it's making my job more difficult, I should say. Scathus over 50%, 39 minutes on the clock. It's not looking too hot for Team 2. They had a good thing going for them for a little bit of time. I know both teams had a good thing going in in relative situations, but yeah, the air grid not looking good for Team 2. The nuke wiping out this one definitely didn't help. And then now we have a Fat Boy with a couple of oh, look at this, Regal Eagle coming in with a cloaking laser comm, and he's going to kill off that Fat Boy and that nice little Percy that's just kind of hanging out there. He's going to get 5-star vet from this for sure. Clock laser comm, I read that as clocklasered.com is how I read that. It's like, what? Is this like a laser hair removal thing? Oh, almost lands on those T3 mixers, but just barely, not enough. And there's Satanas shooting at own forces. SACU is down. So a little bit of reclaim for Team 2, but again, the base is gone nonetheless. That is going to hurt at least a little bit in their pocketbook. Team 1 is in the lead. We have Corsairs inbound, still going after fatties. And those fatties, they are, they're thick, and they're not going down without a fight. Another Fat Boy started here. Another Fat Boy started. We have that artillery done for Team 1. Another shield going to be built. Love to see that. More shielding around the SMD. Also love to see that. Thought I saw another nuke, but it's not. Another artillery piece online for Team 1. If Team 1 doesn't know about the game ender, no, they do not. So that might be Team 2's saving grace. They're sending some spy planes inbound. And I think they might know it's going to happen. Oh. SACU goes down over there. Again, this is what Team 1 can see on Team 2. And this is what Team 2 can see on Team 1. They know where one of the artillery pieces and the nuke is. They know where this one is. They don't know about the new one online, but it's pretty close to one another, so it doesn't really matter. Billy Nuke lands on top of a... I think there's two Billy Nukes, in fact. One from... Actually, the player I circled. I blocked mass, and of course one over here from Master of Seasons. He's up to 105,000 mass killed with that Billy Nuke. Done a very good job, and I think no, they're hitting the air grid. The SMD is definitely going to be a target. Scathis, definitely hope there's another SMD nearby, because that's not going to feel good if it blows up before it's even used. 6,000 hit points. It's 66.6666 repeating percent done. Team 2 has time. It's just it's getting tight. Eastern side's not looking too great. A little bit more momentum in their direction, though. Western side, they need to push on land in one degree or the other. I think this is kind of a lost cause. They just need to full send it this way. I think they have Megalith, another Megalith, a Monkey-Lord, a heavily damaged Megalith. They have the hit points and the firepower to push in. They're just not doing it right now. We have a chicken moving in to intercept that Fat Boy. And Master of Seasons is right here as well. If it keeps walking, it could kill off the comm. Oh, it's going to keep walking. Master of Seasons is like, get me out of here. And there it is. There's the shots onto the comm. He's got to keep going. If you want to kill off the comm, you got to keep going. Master of Seasons got to keep walking back. There's no stopping for either of those situations. Ion Storm activates here soon. So that chicken's got to get on a move. And Master of Seasons might actually have staved out death for just a little bit longer. Fat Boy decides to charge it. Not Fat Boy. Megaboy starts to charge it and kills off two Fat Boys. And Scathis almost in the green. Not looking good for Team 1's late game. SACU goes down. Explosion on the eastern ear. We have another SACU down. Nice little donut online. Kind of thinning out the stuff that was assaulting Team 2 for a while. Artillery raining in now on this position over here. We have Storm Lantern just getting hit by these two artillery pieces. Don't know where that one's firing, but it's going somewhere, I would imagine. But there goes Master of Seasons. I did miss it. Apologies. The chicken just barely dies. And that is a little bit of revenge for Zymare, or Chimera, depending on how you pronounce it. And Satellite done here for Team 1, because why not? Scathis in the green. Team 1 have 4 players left, 43 minutes on the clock. Everything donated over to Karateka. Maybe it'll give it over to Turbopuck, but for now, it's under Karateka's watch. Megalith still moving in. I think the Fat Boys should be fine. Yep, there he goes. Alleviates a big problem from that Billy Nuke, and a lot of that pressure is now relieved from Team 1. Again, the artillery still another concern. Still don't know about the Scathis, I would imagine. Nope, have no idea. We're getting spy planes over stuff now. Oh, we have microplastic over here. 7,500 in climbing. Not looking good for Team 1 if they don't deal with it soon. Not a lot of shielding. We're getting a lot of PD in terms of some telemaser spam nonsense from Team 2. They have 2 of them. So, and they have confirmed that one laser does exist. We have Storm. Nothing on board. And Nuke is inbound. SMD is not down. SMD is not down. So there is that. Don't know where it's going besides all of... Well, it could be point defense nuke. Oh, that's going to be a little bit of point defense nuke. It might clip the Mega. Mega will be fine, though. That Mega's down. That's going to severely hurt that Megalith, though. Wall sections, mobile wall bricks. That's going to help, and kaboom. Wipes out from some brick walls. And Billy Nuke inbound as well to assist from the east to just throw everything they have at this defense satellite doing defense satellite things. Look at that. UEF doing UEF things. I would expect it nothing less from Team 2's UEF players. I'm sorry, Team 1's UEF plays. I keep doing that. And I'm just waiting for that Scathis to come online. Crab is going to die here very shortly. It was not long for this world. Nimbus is spotted. Nimbus has drone, building another Fat Boy. And he has T3 and Ras. Lots of hives. Oh, sorry, lots of kennels. Apologies, wrong thing. And, oh, Crab goes down. Bombers inbound. There goes a P-Gen. Wall sections still pushing in. Those brick walls aren't stopping. Kennels are going down. That kills off a little bit of the engineering power for Team 1, at least for Nimbus in general. Their bombers inbound constantly. 10,000 mass says Regal Eagle. I think he's talking about maybe the western side. Still, some of the air grid survives a little bit. Still, the Scathis has not been spotted that I've noticed. Oh, they see a stealth field gen, but they don't know what it is. I mean, I would target that immediately, but that's just me. Eastern side, a little bit of Othams going after Mech Marines, but that's not really going to do anything. There's that donut still. 45 minutes on the clock. Laser over the top. And again, here comes the thing. Once this Scathis comes online, Team 1 has some time because they have stuff here. They have stuff here. They have stuff here. It's spread out. And if once Team 1 gets a sniff of that thing, that is game over. Regal Eagle's going to lose all those engineers. That's not going to be helpful for his power consumption. Scathis is done. There it goes, extending its upside down legs and going to fire off at something. I would assume this would be a target or this would be a target. Probably the third artillery. That's a target. We know about it. Team 1 doesn't know about it. Sorry, Team 2 doesn't know about it. And that should be a target immediately. Wipe out a nuke and wipe out a thing. And I think Team 1 might have spotted it. Nope, hasn't spotted it yet. And Scathis volley still hasn't fired. How's Regal Eagle's power? Yeah, he's fine. He's not fired. There it goes. There's the shots inbound. Billy Nuke lands next to a Megalith. Megalith is down. Satellite moving in. Scathis shots are inbound. Look at that, just trailing across the sky. Artillery landing now on Microplastics' old base that's now, been somewhat rebuilt. Donut is down. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. ASF's interchange with one another. And Scathis launching another volley. It's going in for that base. P-Gens are getting hit. Oh, Karateka got hit by some Scathis fire. Another volley inbound. He's got to move, and he's going to find it. That satellite will probably find it here shortly. ASFs win the fight for Team 1. First time in the game, 46 minutes, and they have air control. And I sense that the Scathis will be targeted here shortly. But the Scathis has pierced some of the shielding. P-Gens are going to go ablaze. The Cascade is, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. And that's why you don't build a big giant rectangle of P-Gens and the whatnot, because all of the everything, 3 artillery pieces and a nuke are downed. There is a satellite over top. Shields are being built. Team 1 still has 1 artillery piece, again, and that 1 satellite. Second artillery piece is almost done. But that is 75% of the attack power long range for the artillery is down. 2 satellites over here, more being built by Karateka, and they're inbound, and guess where they're going? There's 1 target. They're going to target that. And Microplastic's like, get me out of here. He's taking some damage. He's going to get out of there. Team 2 still has 4 players. Team 1 has 4 players. Bombers inbound for Litak. Don't really know why, but I mean, I guess he'll take the mass on his doorstep, I guess. Scathis shots. I mean, that was such a nice section of volley of Scathis. How much damage is... how much... ooh, Regal Eagle, your power. Ooh, we got to watch that. Not looking good. 403,000 mass already. Here come the second air grid destruction with the Scathis fire. These a couple of P-Gens that are heavily damaged. That could easily end up in a cascade. Ooh, and the volley goes that way. But it is going to target the Novaxes, though. So I don't like the fact that it switched off the targets. But if he's going after stuff that's shooting at him, that's a good bet. There is the artillery that's there as well. He does know about it, so I'm kind of wondering why he's not going for it. Satellites trying to pierce the shielding. More shields are being built. We have a transport inbound, I would guess, from Microplastics comm, I would guess. Looks like Team 1 spotted Microplastics comm. Scathis shots do rain in. They hit the Novax, but I feel like... oh, okay, now he switched back to this. We'll see if that'll be enough. There's the shots. He does clip the SMD. That's something. Kills off a chunk of the air grid, so a lot of the air power is down for Team 1, at least in terms of new air power. Shielding is not. I'm going to split things because I know I'm going to miss it, so this left side will be just for the Scathis, and then the right side, oh, the shields are going down, so maybe I don't need to split things. Never mind. Ooh, generators are going down. Target the generators first, then you target everything else, then they can't protect it, and then that's kind of it. Oh, the generators are all down. There's another T2. Oh, there it goes. He immediately wiped out. I think that might be the end of the Scathis for Team 2. And I'll just move it over there a little bit so the text isn't in the way. Eastern side, air grid. Again, still not great. It's targeting this position now. Shields aren't super great, but they are being assisted. Transport doing something. Teleporter started for Black Hole Plastics, and there goes the Scathis. 49 minutes on the clock. Team 2 has lost their game ender. And, oh, I can probably end split. There we go, because I was moving it over anyways. Not looking good for Team 2. That was their ace in the hole. And I think that ace is now spent. And there's the Regal Eagle team recall order. Team 2 flees. 2 kills this game. 1 for each team. It's a 4v4. Team 1 wins the game. The nuke from Team 1's Karateka was probably one of the best moves of the game. It wiped out an entire player's worth of eco. Granted, this nuke wasn't super great, to be fair, but that first one, ooh, all that air power gone. It kind of put him essentially on the back foot for the rest of the match. Lovely attempt by Regal Eagle. He went for the Scathis. He got it online. He killed off a huge amount of stuff. And had he been able to kill off this, maybe that would have helped, but I don't know. I think there was just too much firepower, and Team 2 just didn't have anything else as backup. And they're like, nah, it's not really worth continuing. But let me know down in the comments who you would pick for MVP. Again, I think Karateka gets MVP for me. Thanks so much for watching to the very end of the video. Like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And again, the poll for what name you want the group of Optims to be will either be up on the channel today or tomorrow. It'll probably be tomorrow because I'll probably forget because it'll be Friday when this video releases. But again, thanks so much for watching. And I will see all of you in the next one.